Hey friends, I recently read Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This is a new release, so I wanted to do a full book review for it. Lore has a really strong premise. I was really excited to read this book when I heard about it. A long time ago, 9 Greek gods angered Zeus and he punished them. Now, every 7 years, those gods are forced to walk the earth as mortals, hunted by the descendants of heroes of ancient Greece, who are happy to participate in this hunt because if they kill a god, they get that god's powers and immortality. They also get that god's punishment and lose their immortality 1 week every 7 years, but that's so small in comparison. Our main character is Melora Perseus, or Lore, who is the last living mortal member of her family. She was raised to hunt the gods, but has left that world behind her since her family's violent murder. But then her best friend, who she thought was dead, and Athena, one of the last original gods, decide to drag her back into this life. A lot of the story is centered around Lore's PTSD from experiencing so much violence and loss due to this life that she is re-entering now. This brings us to our content warnings for this book. It includes graphic violence, murder, specifically the murder of children, at one point sexual violence, briefly touching on the rape of Medusa and another rape attempt, terminal illness, abuse, and an arranged marriage. This book was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be, and you should be prepared for that if you choose to read it. I was sold on this book because I was told it was Percy Jackson meets the Hunger Games, which I think is a fair assessment. It is like the Percy Jackson series in that it is based on Greek mythology, and it is like the Hunger Games in that it is just so incredibly violent with a young woman being forced or fated into becoming a murderer. However, it really lacked the cultural critique that I admired about those books, and it's not that Alexandra Bracken didn't try to do any cultural critique. There were several attempts to reframe Greek mythology through a feminist lens, and I think it was a moderate success. It really just pointed out, though, that the patriarchy exists and has impacted who stories get told, passed down, and how we tell those stories now. Contributing to the lack of strong cultural critique was the weak world building. Bracken had a strong foundation with Greek mythology to build off of, but the world building was erratic at best. The story is supposed to be contemporary, but it leaned so heavily on the mythology that it failed to show what the world is like now. Bracken attempted to create a hidden world within our world, but I don't think it was successful because the world is just too disconnected from the wider world and contemporary culture. I mean, sure, they have drones and cell phones, but it mostly just felt displaced. I think that the feminist critique could have been stronger and much more nuanced if the character Lore didn't fall into the trope of the stereotypical strong female character. She was raised to be a warrior, so she is physically strong but emotionally stunted. She sees how her life is controlled by patriarchal standards, but she's more angry than anything else about it, and yeah, the patriarchy pisses me off. But her only reaction is to either attempt to leave society entirely, or continue a cycle of violence. I feel like her life was controlled by trauma inflicted by a patriarchy that was very surface level. A series of villains where what they were doing was so clearly wrong to the reader that it was just a little bit too big and too unrelatable. And of course, one popular solution to the stereotypical strong women in pop culture is to give them a romantic relationship with a soft boy. Lore's romantic relationship with Castor, her best friend who she thought died 7 years ago, the romance was sudden and honestly uncalled for. This romance felt like a surprise because the two had that strong childhood friendship, and it seemed like all they had upon reuniting was that strong friendship. Not a romantic spark or really any kind of romantic tension. And I think a friendship story about connecting to the world through healthy non-romantic relationships would have been a more compelling narrative. The romance was one of the few surprises that didn't work in this book, though. It has tons of twists and turns that kept me on the edge of my seat, with things changing every time I thought I had the story figured out. Honestly, that did make the story really fun and entertaining, but it also means that I won't be rereading this book, since I already know the full plot with all of its surprises. Ultimately, I enjoyed this book. I think my criticisms are valid, but I had fun while reading it. I am slightly apprehensive recommending this book to people who aren't well versed in Greek mythology. Like, this book requires knowing more than just the Olympians, because this book uses lesser known myths without telling their full stories. Since I did really like the book and had a good time reading it, I am giving Lore by Alexandra Bracken 4 stars. Thanks for watching this video. If you want me to do more book reviews in the future, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe, watch another video of mine, or support me on Patreon. And hey, I love you.